Welcome to Real Talk in ELT, a podcast that talks about the reality of teaching English.
Hello, welcome back to another episode. Actually, so this one is kind of more, I'm just trying to help. So, recently I posted, there was a post and then there was a video, a real video, whatever. It was on Instagram. I posted something about text level. And I found, because I had found a tool resource for people to copy and paste a text. There was a 500 character limit depending on if you pay for it or not. Anyways, it was called Text Inspector. It came from Cambridge. They have it on a specific site. So if you haven't seen it, then go back to my Instagram because I kind of show you how to use it. But what it got me to thinking was couple things. So the first thing was, well, that's great for lexical items because it's like focused, obviously it's focused on vocabulary. So it took the text, it would inspect it, and it would categorize all of the words that were in the text and put them into CEFR, the Common European Framework. It would put them at the different levels based on corpus information that they had. And I thought it was really great. But then I was like, well, it's only for lexical items. So then there's a lot more to a text than just the vocabulary that's in it. And there's a lot more for people to kind of, that they have to start considering. So one of the other things that you have to consider, there's lots of things to consider, okay? So please don't crucify me if I'm just talking about two things, but I've been trying to snoop around and find tools that fellow teachers would benefit from. So I stumbled upon a YouTube video talking about English grammar profile. Now, this is not actually something new. I will say that this was like 6 years ago. So I went, it wasn't a deep dive in the archives, but I just stumbled across it because I was searching for something else. Anyways, so I found this Cambridge University Press video. It actually was a person-to-person workshop type of thing. It was at IATEFL in Birmingham, April 14th, 2016, and it's a recorded video of that session. It was featuring Anne O'Keefe and Geraldine Mark, and they were talking about using the English grammar profile to improve your course design. So then I was like, well, what's that? Let me listen to what these ladies have to say. And first of all, let me just share with you what I found, and then we'll go from there. So let's look. Great. So now that I've carefully tucked myself in the corner, if you're just listening, then you'll have to follow along with my fabulous descriptions. But anyways, so this is what I found. It's a 30-minute video, and pretty much they tell you like what happened, what they did. It's quite, 30 minutes, you can probably cruise through that relatively quickly. Anyways, these two ladies go through what they did, what they found, their research, etc., etc. So what they did was they created, let me just make sure that doesn't play. Okay. What they did was they created this, which is a corpus-based. It's based on the Cambridge examinations. So they took that as the corpus, and they created what students can actually do. So what happens sometimes is we look at course books and we say, okay, well, according to this Common European Framework level, B1, B2, A2, C2, whatever, students should be able to do X, Y, and Z, right? And this was kind of, I thought this was interesting because I think the basis for this was well, if it's in the generally accepted curriculums and syllabus that we tend to see internationally speaking, is that a real representation of what students are producing? So they created this, and you can find it at englishprofile.org/englishgrammarprofile/egp-online. So you can see it here, but if you search for English Grammar Profile online, I'm sure you'll find this website. The cool thing about this is it's Well, I like things that are based in evidence, so I also appreciate that they took the time, developed the corpus from the examinations, and put this together. I might be late to the game on this, but I mean, it's just, there's so many tools nowadays. I feel like I just get lost in things, and so yeah. But the way that this is set up, I will say, the way that this is set up, if you're using a computer or a laptop, is actually pretty easy to access. I've tried to use this on my phone, and it's not very mobile friendly, just so you know. So once you get here, there's the different levels. You can search, you can add filters. There's a whole bunch of hoopla here that you can kind of customize it the way that you want to see whatever's on there. But the cool thing is they have different super categories, and then they have subcategories of those categories. So for example, if we look here, we have, actually, let me see if I can make it. I'm so bad about like making things big and stuff. Okay, well, that's good enough. Here we go. So we've got the super category of adjectives, subcategory of combining. They put the level there. So this is at level A1. It's all kind of color coded. It's easy to look at. For me, this is kind of like an easy thing to look at. Level A1, they have the can-do statements. So the form combining two adjectives with and. So can use and to join a limited range of common adjectives. They also have buttons here, which you can just float your, you don't even have to click, you can just float your mouse over. And it'll say, form combining two adjectives with and. The teachers are very nice and friendly. That's from an A1 breakthrough 2007 Polish student that passed. I like it. So they give you examples of like actual things that students produced. And then they give you some details. The examples you just can float over, but the details you have to click on. So if you click on the details for this, it'll give you pretty much more or less what you had before. And then it'll have an additional uncorrected learner example there. So the teachers are very nice and friendly. I like my house because see, there's like spelling mistakes here. So I like my house because is very big and comfortable. You can buy Turkish and English products as well. Okay. Anyways, it gives you kind of like, they give you the corrected one, they give you the uncorrected one. It just gives you a little bit more. But I don't know if I would actually go into clicking into the details. If you want to, you can. Here's why I think it's kind of useful. Well, I mean, it's useful for a variety of reasons. Here's what I would do, though. So I've had recently a few people, teachers, come to me and say, well, how do you level students? How do you know what's acceptable, what's unacceptable, et cetera, et cetera? So I think that sometimes, I'm not a Cambridge examiner, so I'll put that out there. I'm not an examiner or anything, but I'm pretty good at just kind of, pinpointing exactly where students lie on the CEFR range in the levels there. I think just from experience, like years of experience, and then also, just being exposed to different things. Anyways, so I'm actually quite comfortable at doing that, like listening to a student or analyzing students' work and putting them on the CEFR and knowing what's appropriate for them and what's not appropriate for them. Some teachers don't have that experience. Some teachers are uncomfortable doing it. Some teachers work for schools, and the coordinators of the schools are the ones that are leveling students, and so the teachers don't participate in that process, and therefore they have challenges when they see a student. They can recognize general categories, elementary, intermediate, or advanced, but it's difficult for them to like plug them into a CEFR level. Also, sometimes teachers are hesitant on whether or not, those students that we have that want to take international exams and we're confident to a certain extent in their ability, but it would be extra reassuring if we had some examples from real students and what they're producing on their exams. So this is kind of like where my mind went with this, because well, let me just show you. There are, internet is slow today, people. It's fine. There's 61 pages of grammar. 61 pages of grammar, and it goes from A1 to C2. It has like I said, it has the categories, it levels it out for you, it has can-do statements, and it gives you very, very clear examples. So modality, using could for speculation, and giving you a very clear example. I think this helps. So when teachers come to me and they say, well, I don't really know what level the student is, like I can't really pinpoint where they should be. First of all, I think it helps to go to the rubrics and look at, can-do statements, things along those lines. What does it mean? How many points and percentage points, and what should they be able to do at a specific level? But sometimes that's not as concrete as teachers need it to be. And so this type of resource, I'm not saying this is the end all be all. This is a grammar resource. So if you're looking grammatically speaking in your syllabus, if you're, trying to figure out whether or not your students are capable of doing things at an appropriate level, then use these, because this would be a great thing. Well, I'm teaching this, and I'm not really sure if we've achieved mastery at a CFR level. Okay, then use this as a reference. Click on there, look at some of the examples that they give, and see if what your students have produced or have been producing is in line with what they've got here. And that should give you a pretty good indication. The other thing is, I have quite a few teachers that I work with that want to make their own courses. More power to you, my friends. That is quite an endeavor, making all the materials, developing the courses, the syllabus design. I did a baby version of that for my module the Delta 3 module, Delta module 3, for a business English course. And I have to say, there is a lot that goes into it. But if you're up for it and you want to do it, go for it. But here's also a nice reference for you to have, because along with other things, obviously this is only focused on grammar, so this is a very limited view of it. You can't just say, okay, once they've mastered these grammatical points, we can move them up this EFR scale. No, that's not okay. But it will help you kind of look at some of the reoccurring themes. Like we do see modality in every level. Now, the proficiency level does indicate the complexity in which the students can produce modality, for example. And so, but again, sometimes we don't have concrete examples or ways of differentiating. Like, for example, could, you can see that from probably A1 to C2. However, there's increasing levels of complexity in using the modal could. And so if you look specifically at that one and you pull up the different levels, you can see a very clear distinction between the usage for criticism, for speculation. Do you see what I'm saying? So it'll give you a good reference point on, as we include all of these grammatical features within a course, how can this help us kind of design things that are increasing appropriately with the determined CAFR level. So yeah, I think it's a good tool. Feel free. I think really what people should do is they should probably go here and watch the video, and listen to these ladies and what they did, because they do have a presentation, and you can see it. It's got it's got the subtitles on, so you can watch and read and make sure that you understand all of the information. And they do they do show you the slides. So it does help. So it's like you're sitting and understanding how they develop this tool and what they intend for people to use it for. And so after I watched it, I kind of poked around here, took a peek, see what I could find, played with the settings and things like that. You can also download this as an Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if that's helpful or not for some people because I don't know. I like to use it. I did download the spreadsheet and look at it. I found it to be clunky. Excel is just kind of clunky, you know? So if you're used to using Excel and you like it, then go for it. I think it's a good option. If not, the online version of it, if you're able to stay connected to the web while you're kind of sniffing around on this website, I think it's easier. I don't know, it's like color coded. For me, it just seems a little bit easier. But yeah, you can go down and look at all of these. They give you examples. Again, I think it's a good resource. Is it the end all be all for your course design? Probably not. But it does give those concrete examples, which I think is helpful for some teachers to start differentiating between CEFR levels when analyzing the grammar of their students. So that's it for today. I'm not going to give you any more than that, but it was just kind of a quick tool. But I did use the other tools. So there is the text inspector, which will help you look at the lexical items within a given text and kind of grade the lexis based on CEFR level. This is an additional resource that you could use if you're looking at text or things like that to see, see some conditionals and within a text, or you're trying to analyze what you should include in your curriculum. This is another example of a resource that you could use to define what is appropriate for your learners and include it as you see fit. That's it for today. I hope this has been helpful. Again, you can find the I guess it's not a webinar. It was like a workshop. Okay. Anyways, the IATEFL Birmingham, April 14th, 2016 workshop is on the Cambridge University. If you don't subscribe to it, the Cambridge University Press ELT channel on YouTube. You can search for it using English Grammar Profile to improve curriculum design. And to find this tool specifically, you can Google for English Grammar Profile online, or you can go to englishprofile.org/english-grammar-profile/egp-online. I'll link everything in the show notes. Hopefully it's helpful, and I will see y'all a little bit later.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk and ELT. Want to join the conversation? Head on over to Instagram at Kelly Pennington ELT and send me a message. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube or Spotify channel to stay up to date, and of course, take care of yourself, your health, your vibe, and your tribe. Until next time.